The bustling streets of Onitsha Main Market echoed with the cacophony of traders' voices, the blaring of motorcycle horns, and the steady shuffle of countless feet against dusty pavement. Among the sea of faces were two brothers, Emeka and Emmanuel Okonkwo, who lived with their widowed mother in a small, dilapidated room in Fegge, one of the poorest neighborhoods in the commercial city. Their father had died 5 years earlier, leaving behind nothing but debts and the bitter taste of unfulfilled dreams. Their mother, Adanna, sold akara by the roadside, barely making enough to feed her sons once a day. The brothers wore secondhand clothes and shared a single pair of bathroom slippers between them, alternating who would wear them to the market each day. Emeka, the older brother by 2 years, was known for his restless spirit. His dark eyes constantly darted about, searching for opportunities, seeking shortcuts to the wealth he saw displayed so prominently by others in the market. At 25, he had tried his hand at various trades, selling pure water, helping traders carry loads, even attempting to learn auto mechanics, but nothing seemed to satisfy his burning desire for quick success. Emmanuel, on the other hand, possessed a quiet determination that seemed beyond his 23 years. While his brother chased shadows, Emmanuel watched and learned, studying the successful traders in the market, noting how they conducted their business, how they treated their customers, how they managed their money. One sweltering afternoon, as Emeka sat with his friends under the bridge near Upper Iweka, drinking cheap beer and lamenting their poverty, a new face joined their group. The man, who introduced himself as Chief Oscar, wore a white designer kaftan and gold rings on every finger. His neck sparkled with thick gold chains, and he drove a gleaming black Mercedes SUV. "Young man," Chief Oscar said, his voice smooth as palm oil, "I see you're suffering. But poverty is a choice in today's world. There are ways, special ways, to change your fortune overnight." Emeka's eyes lit up like forest fires in the Harmattan season. His friends shifted uncomfortably, some making excuses to leave, but Emeka leaned forward, entranced by the chief's words and the hypnotic gleam of his jewelry. Meanwhile, Emmanuel had secured an apprenticeship with Mazi Okeke, one of the most respected textile merchants in Onitsha Main Market. The arrangement was traditional. He would serve and learn for 5 years, after which his master would settle him with capital to start his own business. The work was grueling. Emmanuel woke before dawn each day to clean the shop, arrange the fabrics, and prepare for customers. He carried heavy bales of fabric on his head, learned to distinguish between genuine and counterfeit textiles, and studied the art of negotiation. As Emmanuel immersed himself in honest labor, Emeka followed Chief Oscar to a compound deep in the outskirts of Onitsha, near the Niger River. The compound belonged to a spiritualist known as Dibia Ekwensu, whose reputation sparked fear and whispers throughout the region. The Dibia's shrine was decorated with strange objects, skulls of various animals, feathers, cowries, and red and white cloth. "You want wealth?" the Dibia asked Emeka, his voice like gravel in a drum. "Wealth comes with a price. Are you ready to pay it?" Emeka, thinking of his empty pockets and his mother's struggles, nodded without hesitation. The Dibia explained the terms. Emeka would have to marry a spiritual wife in the form of a goat. This union would bring him unimaginable wealth, but he must remain faithful to the goat and occasionally make love to it. Despite the revulsion that twisted his stomach, Emeka agreed. The ceremony was performed that night, under a blood moon. The Dibia sacrificed chickens and poured libations, chanting in ancient dialects that made Emeka's skin crawl. A black goat was brought forth, adorned with beads and cowries, and Emeka was joined to it in an unholy union. Within weeks, money began flowing into Emeka's life like water from a broken dam. He built a massive house in GIA, bought multiple cars, and opened businesses that seemed to prosper without effort. His mother and Emmanuel were shocked by his sudden wealth, but when they asked questions, he gave vague answers about foreign investments and cryptocurrency trading. Emmanuel continued his apprenticeship, learning not just about textiles but about life itself. Mazi Okeke became more than a master. He became a father figure, teaching Emmanuel about saving, investing, and the importance of building genuine relationships in business. Emmanuel learned to speak Hausa and basic Arabic to better communicate with northern traders, and he developed a reputation for honesty that made customers seek him out specifically. But while Emmanuel's path led steadily upward, Emeka's life began to unravel. The wealth came with a terrible price. Each night, he was compelled to share his bed with the goat wife. The creature's eyes seemed to hold human intelligence, and its bleats sounded increasingly like words. He began to drink heavily to numb himself to his reality. The situation worsened when the goat became pregnant. The pregnancy lasted an abnormal 5 months, and the birth nearly drove Emeka mad. The creature that emerged was neither fully human nor fully goat, a twisted thing that bleated and cried with an infant's voice. Emeka hired special handlers to keep it hidden in a separate wing of his mansion, but its cries haunted his dreams. Despite his wealth, Emeka found no joy in life. His friends were sycophants interested only in his money. Women seemed attracted to him, but he couldn't pursue relationships because of his spiritual marriage. He watched from afar as Emmanuel, still wearing fairly modest clothes but with a confident smile, and respect in the market through his hard work and integrity. After a year of this torment, Emeka could bear it no longer. He returned to Dibia Ekwensu, offering all his wealth in exchange for release from the covenant. The Dibia laughed, a sound like breaking glass. The covenant is for life, the spiritualist declared. Break it, and you forfeit not just the wealth, but your existence. Desperate and drunk one night, Emeka visited a nightclub in New Haven, Enugu. The pulsing music and flashing lights helped him momentarily forget his bizarre home life. A beautiful young woman approached him, attracted by his expensive clothes and the bottles of champagne on his table. In his inebriated state, Emeka forgot about his spiritual obligations. He took her to a hotel. The moment of pleasure was his last. His body was found the next morning by the hotel staff, but before the police could arrive, it vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a pile of expensive clothes and a strange, goat-like odor. Meanwhile, Emmanuel's years of apprenticeship were coming to an end. Mazi Okeke, impressed by his dedication and intelligence, not only settled him with the promised capital but also introduced him to his business partners and convinced the Textile Manufacturer Association to accept him as a direct importer. Emmanuel started small but smart, reinvesting his profits and maintaining the relationships his master had helped him build. He remembered the lessons of patient growth and ethical business practices. Within a few years, he had shops in Onitsha, Lagos, and Kano. He married Olayinka, the daughter of a respected trader from Ibadan, and they built a beautiful home where his mother could finally rest from her years of selling akara. When people in the market talked about the two brothers, they spoke of Emmanuel with respect and admiration. But Emeka's name was mentioned in whispers, his story a cautionary tale about the dangers of seeking wealth without work. Some claimed to have seen his ghost in the market at midnight, carrying bales of cloth on his head, perhaps serving an eternal apprenticeship he had avoided in life. Emmanuel became known not just for his wealth but for his generosity in training other young apprentices, giving them the same opportunity his master had given him. He never forgot his humble beginnings and made sure to help others climb the ladder of success through honest work. The story of the Okonkwo brothers became a parable told in the markets and homes of Onitsha. Parents used it to teach their children that true success comes through patience, learning, and honest work. The fast path, they warned, often leads to destruction. Even today, in the bustling main market, traders sometimes point to Emmanuel's successful business empire as proof that the old values still hold true. And on dark nights, when the wind blows from the Niger River, some say they hear a strange sound, half human voice, half goat's bleat, reminding young men that the price of shortcuts is always too high. As Emmanuel's business grew, he established a foundation in memory of his brother, helping young people learn trades and start legitimate businesses. The foundation's motto, written in both English and Igbo, reads, "Patience builds palaces, hurry builds prisons." Years later, when asked about the secret of his success, Emmanuel would always smile and say, "Success is like cooking proper oha soup. You cannot rush it. Each ingredient must be added at the right time, in the right way. Rush it and you spoil everything." His story became proof that in the hearts of Onitsha's people, amid the rush for wealth and success, the ancient virtues of diligence, patience, and integrity still held power. Emmanuel's path showed that one could succeed without sacrificing one's soul, that the longest road often leads to the best destinations. And in the end, that was the true wealth, not just the money in his banks or the goods in his warehouses, but the respect in people's eyes and the peace in his heart when he laid his head down each night, knowing that every kobo he owned was earned through honest sweat and dedication. The tale of the two brothers continues to echo through the streets of Onitsha, a reminder that in the choice between the fast road and the right road, the wise choose their paths carefully. For as the elders say, wealth without peace is poverty in expensive clothing. And so the story lives on, told and retold in the markets and homes of Onitsha, a testament to the enduring truth that character, patience, and honest work remain the surest paths to lasting success. Emmanuel's legacy stands as a beacon of hope for young people facing the same choices his brother faced, proving that even in the hardest circumstances, the right path, though longer, leads to true fulfillment.